Good morning. Today we are going to learn about sets, and in this topic we will learn about intervals, and we will also learn about some of the properties, that is about the set operation. Okay, so we will start from the first topic, that is interval. So what is interval? Interval are the subset of real numbers. That is, as you know, the real number is also a set, and if we take a part of that real number, that subset will be called as intervals. Suppose I have taken numbers from 1, I have started from 1 and I have taken number up to 100. Then this set of numbers, that it will include all the numbers, sorry, it should be greater than 1, it will include all the numbers from 1 until 100. So all those numbers which are included between this 1 and 100, all the real numbers, that will be forming a subset of real number, and this subset is called intervals. The intervals can be of three types, that are open interval, second one is closed interval, and third is semi closed interval. Now what is open interval? Suppose you are taking number from starting from 1 and ending up to 100, but you have not included 1 and 100, then this type of interval will be called as open interval, in which the starting and the end number will not be included, and this is denoted like this. 1, 100. So you are using a common bracket, this one, opening and closing bracket. So this is a common bracket, and now 1 and 100 is not included. The numbers between this, all the real numbers included between this will be included. Now closed interval, if you are including 1 and 100 also, that is, if you are including the end points 1 and 100 both, then it will be called as closed interval, and this type of number is denoted like this. You will put both of this number in the square bracket with comma separation. So 1 and 100 is also included. In semi closed interval, there can be two type of interval. It may be closed from starting and open at the end. It may be open at the starting and closed at the end. So you may take numbers like this, 1, 100, then square bracket, or 1, 100, so it is open at the 100. This type of number means here the number, real numbers are greater than 1 but less than equal to 100. In this case, real number is equal to 1 and greater than 1 but less than 100. So this case represent this type of number, and this case represent this type of number. Coming to the next topic, that is universal set. If you take a particular context, then in such a context the largest set is called universal set, and it contains all the other set as a subset. That means, suppose one example, if you are taking real number, you are taking some problem related to real number, then real number will be a universal set in which integers, natural number, whole number, rational number, all such type of set will be their subset. So universal set is denoted by U. it is denoted by capital U, and it is a biggest set. You can say in a particular context, it depends upon the problem, the type of problem, the universal set may change. Okay, so you can say it is a superset. Superset of all subsets in a particular context. So suppose U is equal to set of real number, then A can be a subset of integers, or you can have a set of real numbers, set of rational number. You can also have a set of natural number. These all are subsets of universal set. Now we are going to learn about the relationship between different types of set with the help of Venn diagrams. So relationships of sets and Venn diagrams. So first let us understand what is Venn diagram. So all the relationships of sets are shown by the Venn diagram. The Venn diagram consists of rectangle and circles, in which rectangle shows universal set while circle shows subsets. So if you have, suppose I take, let me show you universal set. Universal set is represented by rectangle while its subsets are represented by circles. So you can see that we will draw a rectangle which will be a universal set. Then we are drawing sets in this rectangle. Now set A will be its subset of U, B is also a subset of U. Let us see what different diagrams can be drawn for the Venn diagram. If we draw like this, this type of diagram will show intersecting set. A and B, set A and B intersect each other. If a diagram is drawn like this, you can see here this type of sets are disjoint sets. Set A and B are disjoint sets. Now you can have also sets like this. you can see that B is having all the elements, B is having elements which are the elements of A also. So you can say A is a superset and B is a subset of A, and both of these are subsets of universal set U. Okay, here also A and B are intersecting, but the intersection part is completely B. B will be the intersection part of A and B. Now we will learn about various operations that are done on sets. First one is union of sets. Union operation is represented by this type of symbol. It is U-shaped operator. Now, what does the union means? If suppose there are two sets A, some elements are there, and second set is B, then the union between these two sets A union B will give a set which will include all the elements from these two sets. But remember, the set do not repeat its elements, so we will take repeated element once only. So you will get 1, 3, 6, 4, 7 and 8. So union of this element will be this one, this set, new set. So union of two set is also a set. Now how to represent by Venn diagram? So in Venn diagram we will draw a universal set like this, then in that we will draw A, we will draw B, because some elements are common here, some element is common here, so we will draw intersection part also. Now we can see 3 is common in both, so we will place this 3 inside the intersection part. This is called intersection part, and rest of the element will be among the particular set. So 1 and 6 will come here in set A. In set B you will be having 4, 7, 8, because 3 is already included. You can see 3 is included in A also and 3 is included in B also. So this is the representation of these two set. Now union means you have to take all the elements from both of this set. So you will shade it totally. So all the elements will be included. So this represent A union B. Now coming to the second operation, that is intersection of sets. First, before intersection, we will learn some of the properties of union. First is commutative. That means union operator follows commutative property. That is, if you take A union B, it will be equal to B union A. So A union B is also equal to B union A. We can see here, if A equal to 2, 3, 4 and B equal to 4, 6, 7, A union B will give you the set 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. If you take B union A, then it will give the same root, same set, that is this one. So you can see that both are equal. So it follows commutative property. Now it also follows associative property. A union B union C will be equal to A union B union C. The same reason, because you are including all the elements of all the three sets. Here also you have to include in the same way. The difference is there, we will take a union of B and C first here, but we are taking union of A and B first here. So after doing the operation you will get the same result. You can say that associative property is there. It follows associative law. Third is law of identity. What is law of identity? That if you take union of phi, it will be equal to phi union A also, but the answer will be, because you are including phi means empty set, if you do union of A with empty set, the total result will be A only, because there is no element. If you take a union you will get elements of A only, so that is equal to A. So phi can be called as identity element for union operator. Set, or you can say it is identity set for union operator. Idempotent law. So idempotent law actually means if you do the union of A with A, you are doing union of A with itself, then in result you will get the result as A only, the same set A. So this is called idempotent law. Union with universal set. So if you do the union of any set with universal set U, the result will be universal set, because you are including all the elements of union also, union set, and A also. A is a subset of U, so all the elements of U will be the final result. So this is the properties of union operator. Second is intersection of sets, and this operator is denoted by inverted U. Now what do you mean by intersection of sets? If you draw two sets like this, there are two sets A and B. This portion, the common elements, where you can find the common elements of the two sets, that portion is called as intersection portion, and this is the intersection of two sets. Let us take one example. If A equal to 2, 3, 6, 7, another set is having 3, 7, 9, 10, then A intersection B will be having elements which are common, that is 3, and here you can see 7 are common. So 3 and 7 are the elements of A intersection B. Now how to represent it in this diagram? You can represent the intersection element first, that is 3 and 7. 3 and 7 will be written in the intersection portion. Rest of the elements, they will be placed in set A, that is 2 and 6. For set B, the remaining elements are 9 and 10. So this is the representation, and this portion will be shaded. So this represents A intersection B. So what is the A intersection B? It is the set which contains intersection of the two sets. The elements of the intersection set will be the intersection portion of the two sets. Now what are the properties of this intersection operator? So let us see the different properties. First is commutative property. Whether it is commutative or not, we can see that if you find A intersection B from here, you are getting two elements in the set, that is 3 and 7. If you take the reverse, B first and A, the meaning is same. You have to take the intersection elements, that will be 3 and 7. So you can say that they are commutative in nature. So intersection also follows commutative law, and you can say that A intersection B equal to B intersection A. Let us see whether they are associative or not. If you take A intersection B first, then you have to take one more set for this. Let us take one more set, that is C, in which we are taking 7 as the common. The other element, let it be 11 and 12. Now we are having here 3 sets. The first set is 2, 6, 3, 7. In the second set B, we are having elements 3, 7, 9, 10. In the third set C, we are having 7, 11, 12. Now let us see whether they are associative or not. A intersection B will give you associative, means you have to prove this. A intersection B intersection C is equal to A intersection B intersection C in the bracket, whether they are equal or not. So A intersection B will give you 3 and 7. Now taking intersection of this result with C, it will give you intersection of this and this set will be 7 only. The element is 7 only. Now you have to take in this order. You have to find first B intersection C. The B intersection C elements are 7. Only 7 will be the element. Now taking intersection of B intersection C with A. If you take intersection with A, the common element will be only 7. So you can see the result of both is same. So you can say that intersection also follows associative law. Law of phi, that means null set, and U means universal set. So what is the law? If we take the intersection of phi with any set A, if we take the intersection of phi with any set A, then what you are going to get? The common elements between empty set and A will be phi, that is empty, and the intersection, again you can write A intersection phi is also equal to phi, because if you take an empty set and a set with element, the intersection, you can't get any intersecting element, so the set will be obtained, set will be empty, so you are going to get empty set. If you do intersection of union set and any set A, if you do the intersection of universal set, if you do the intersection of universal set and any set A, what you are going to get? Universal set means this set, and this is set A. The intersection part is this one, all the elements which are contained in A only, because this part will be contained in U also and A also. So you can say it will be equal to A. So if you take A union set intersection A, or A union intersecting with union set, the result will be A only. So this is the property of phi and U. So in this law, if you take the intersection of an element with itself, we have seen in union also, we have taken union with union of element of a set with itself. In this also you have to take the intersection of a set with itself. So what will happen? If you take intersection of A with A, you are going to get the same set A. Intersection of A with A is A, so it will be equal to. Now coming to our fifth property, that is distributive law. So how we are going to do distribution? We will take distribution of intersection over union. So if you take A intersection B union C, A intersection B union C, so what happens in distributive law? A intersection B, then union A intersection C will be the answer. That is, if you take the intersection of A and B and intersection of A and C, then you do the union of these two results, you will get the same value as this one. So what does it mean? Let us see by the Venn diagram. If we take A, here B and one more set C, B union C means B union C is this one. This portion is B union C. If you do the intersection of this one, then with A you will get this portion only. If you do the intersection of this union with A, you will get this portion. Again, let us see for this one whether we are getting the same result or not. A intersection B union C, and in second we are doing the same thing. We will take three sets A, B and C. Now you see that A intersection B you have to find first. A intersection B is this portion. Now A intersection C in the second bracket, that is A intersection C will be this portion. Union of these two will be this whole portion. So you can see that in both the diagram you are getting the same result. So you can say that both are equal. A intersection B union A intersection C. So intersection over the union is a distributive in law. Similarly, we are going to see the union is distributive or not over intersection. If you do union, then also you will get the same result. You can check by your Venn diagram. You will get union like this, A union B. You have to do this union with both of the element, both of the sets in the bracket. So A union B, then intersection A union C. This distribution is same as we do the multiplication over the we do the distribution of multiplication over the addition. As we have seen that if we take A here and in bracket B plus C is taken, then this A will be multiplying with B and also with C. In the same way, this distribution is done in the set operation. Let there be two sets A and B. The difference of set, that is A minus B, this will be the portion of this set which will include the elements of A, but it will not include the elements which are in B. So it will leave this portion and you will get the result as this portion only. So for this type of sets, difference of sets, you can write that if X belongs to A minus B, then this implies A will be belonging to A, but this X is belonging to A, but X will not belong to B. Example, suppose A is having element 1, 3, 7, 8. Let B be 7, 3, 4, 6. Then A minus B will be those elements of A, which leaving the elements of B. Okay, So which elements you have to leave from A? You have to leave this 3 and 7 as they are present in B also. So we will leave these two elements. Rest of the elements 1 and 8 will be the remaining elements of set A minus B. So this is the difference of the two sets A and B. Now symmetric difference of two sets. Suppose there are difference between two sets, that is if you take A minus B and another you take B minus A. Okay, so what is the meaning of this A minus B? All those elements of A excluding the elements of B. Here all those elements of B excluding the elements of A. Now you can see if you draw the diagram, A and B, this will be the A minus B and this will be the diagram of B minus A, that is this element will be included. If you do the union of these two type of difference, if you do union of these two types of difference, it will be called the symmetric difference of the set, that is A minus B union B minus A. If you do the union, if you look at the diagram, so combined, if you combine these two diagram, how it will be? If I draw in Venn diagram, you will get the difference as this is A, this is B, this is A minus B and this is B minus A. The union means all the elements which are lying in the shaded portion, this shaded portion will show you this result, that is A minus B union B minus A. So this is called the symmetric difference of the two sets A and B. Now what is disjoint sets? This is our next topic, disjoint sets. So what are disjoint sets? If you see that, if you see here in the Venn diagram, if I draw like A here and B here, you can see that they are not intersecting each other. They have no common elements among the A and B. In this case, if you find A minus B, if you find A minus B, you will get and set A only, because they are not intersecting. Okay, if you do the intersection of A and B, you will get empty, you will get an empty set. So in this case you can say that this A and B are disjoint sets. Also A minus B will give you, because there is no common elements in B, so nothing is to be subtracted from B in A, so you will get A, and also B minus A in this case will be B. So you have to take the elements of first set and removing the elements of B, but there is no common elements, so total elements of A will be coming here, and here also the total element of B will be coming in the result. So this is for disjoint sets. Now complements of sets. So what is complement of set? It is the total set of elements excluding the given set, excluding the elements of given set. Suppose if you are taking a Venn diagram like this, this is universal set and this is set A. If I write some elements here like this 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in universal set, then what will be the A? A will be 1, 3, 4. The elements in A are 1, 3 and 4. So what will be the complement? Complements will be the number total elements excluding the elements of A. You can say elements of universal set excluding the element of given set. So it contains the element of universal set, that is 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 will be the elements of A complement. This complement is can also be represented as A to power C. So this is also the representation for the complement, and you can see that complement of A will be equal to the set of elements X such that X belongs to U and X does not belong to A. So its complement is a reverse, that is it will not belong to A, but the elements will belong to universal set U. This U means universal set. So this is the complement of a set. Now we can also write this as A dash equal to U minus A, that is all the elements of U excluding the elements of A. U is the universal set. Now coming to the properties of complement set. If you look at the properties of complements, so first law is the first one is complement law. What happen in complement law? See here, if I put A dash, if I put A union A dash, okay, if I do the union of A and complement of A, you will always get U, that is universal set. What does it mean? Let us see by Venn diagram. If I take A, this is set A, the set A means these elements, the elements inside it, and A dash means elements outside the A, this will be the A dash, or you can say the inside elements are A while outside elements are A dash. If you do the union of these two types of sets, then what you will get? You will get all the elements of the universal set. So you will get the universal set as the result. This is our first law, that is complement law. Also in this we have to do intersection. When we do in the intersection of A and A dash, that means if you find the intersection among these two elements, there will be no common elements. So what you are going to get? You will get an null set, that is phi. Now coming to our next property, the next property is De Morgan's law. So what the De Morgan's law say, that in first case, if you do the A intersection B and whole complement, what you are going to get? What it does? It just separate the sets and then just change the sign of intersection with union and union with intersection. So what you have to do? You have to write A dash, then intersection will change to union, and then B dash. So we have separated A and B, and we have changed the sign of intersection with union. Similarly, if you are having, instead of union intersection, if you are having union, and if you have to do complement of this, then what you will get? You will get A dash, intersection, and B dash. So we can also prove the same thing. The LHS and RHS portion are equal or not, we can prove by Venn diagram. You have already seen such type of proof, so you can do it. Now third law, the law of double complement. Law of double complements. So what does it mean? If you do the dash of dash, that is complement of complement, if you apply the complement of a set, and again the complement of the result, then what you are going to get, you will get the same element. You can see here, if you take A dash, that means the elements are outside. If this is set A, the A dash means these elements. Again the complement of these elements will be the elements leaving these elements, and the remaining elements, that is you will get the elements of A. So the complement of complement will give you the set, the original set A. So this is the law of double complement. Now coming to the fourth law. The fourth law is law of empty set. So what the law of empty set says, if you do the complement of null set, if you do the complement of null set, that there is no element in a set, then you will get universal set. So all the elements of universal set will be the result for complement of a null set. Similarly, if you do the complement of universal set, you are going to get the empty set as the result. So of two set, if there are two set A and B, and suppose there are some elements 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, okay. So if we want to find the number of element in A union B, we have a formula like this: number of element in A plus number of element in B minus number of element in A intersection B. So what does it mean? A union B means you have to include all the elements of A and B, and this means the number of elements which are in A, this means number of element in which are in B, and this means number of element which are in intersection. From here we can see that if you want to calculate A union B, we can put the value of A. The number of element in A is 1 2 3 4 5, and from B you can see that number of element is 4, and subtracting the common element 5, that is the number of element is 1. So how much you are going to get? This is 9 minus 1, that is 8 elements. So you can see, as A union B equal to, if you find the A union B, you will get the elements 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Because we cannot repeat 5 two times, you have to take one time. Now you can count the number of element in A union B and check whether it is correct or not. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So you are getting the cardinal number of that A union B equal to 8, and this is our relationship between the two sets in a Venn diagram. So related to this, there are a lot of questions. We are going to discuss these questions in our next video. That will be the part 3 of chapter set.